So, we find ourselves at that time of year when some of the series one have been following in this corner of the TV universe have reached their season's finales. Gotham, Agents of Shield and Krypton all went out with a bang and are all done until next fall, or in the case of some shows next year. I find myself looking forward to what we can expect shortly for our dose of genre TV for the summer season. First of all, summer means of course more of the great stuff from Marvel. Netflix, since Jessica Jones' thoroughly enjoyable Season 2 already aired earlier this year, that means Season 2 of Luke Cage and Season 3 of Daredevil. We start out with Season 2 of Luke Cage. Season 2 will premiere on June 22nd on Netflix. There was a lot I liked about Season 1 and some things I didn't like, plot points that made the series seem to drag. The idea of a black, flightless Superman was thrilling to see portrayed in a live-action series, and Mike Colter did an excellent job as the eponymous character along with the show's supporting cast of Simone Missick and Rosario Dawson. Netflix and Marvel's grounded, sometimes grim approach to the genre makes for engaging and compelling TV. Season 2 has plenty of ground to cover regarding continuity from the characters' more recent appearances. Luke Cage failed to appear in Jessica Jones Season 2, so this will be his first appearance since The Defenders. Claire Temple and Misty have stories that need to be wrapped up after the events of The Defenders 2. This season's nemesis appears to be the classic Cage comic book villain and Serpent Society member, Bushmaster Mustafa Shakir, who is seen making a viral debut, using his enhanced powers and killer capoeira skills to hurt Luke seriously. So it looks like Luke will be getting some much-needed help from his unofficial partner and sidekick, the now bionically enhanced robot-armed Misty Knight. What would Luke do without the ladies? Gots admit this trailer is kind of silly. It's refreshing to see a show that doesn't take itself too seriously. After all, these shows do come from comic books. Right now it's uncertain when Daredevil's third season will arrive for public consumption, but some rumors have it arriving as late as November while others say September. The series' first 2 seasons were my favorites of all the Netflix, Marvel shows. The action, the cast, the story all combined for thoroughly top-notch, enjoyable and entertaining TV. A lot of details are vague at best at this point about the show's third season. Read one article saying we can expect to see the return of the original black outfit. For one thing, Matt's going to have a much harder time trying to keep his identity secret since he disappeared at the same time as Daredevil, and since Claire, Foggy and Karen both already know his secret isn't that less important than before. Also, for better or worse, we can expect the return of the Kingpin portrayed again by Vincent D'Onofrio. Last season's finale and the introduction of the mysterious Sister Maggie strongly imply that eventually the series is headed for the classic Frank Miller, David Mazzucchelli story, Born Again, but we may be in for a surprise. It also seems that in addition to Kingpin, the show's third season will see the arrival of Bullseye. There is no Season 3 trailer for the series yet. Now, on to this week's show's Westworld. I think I am starting to catch on to what is going on with this series. Outside the main story arc, the series seems to have become a way for the show's creators to have some fun with using the main narrative as context. For example, the last week's show was a prime example of a horror series, while this week's episode was a brilliant tribute to classic samurai films. That is, within the show's narrative as context, the show can become an anthology series, allowing the production's creators to experiment with pretty much any genre they please as long as it stays within the preordained confines of the main story arc. What a brilliant idea to use the series as a platform that allows you to wander at will. The episode also makes comments on the limitations of Sizemore's imagination by referring to lazy storytelling, reboots, and sequels. It is true, while fun at first, it does seem that such a part would get redundant fast. The entire Japanese village is a mirror image of Sweetwater, the western town the show begins in. Meets Akane, another brothel madam hiding a heart of gold under a tough-as-nails demeanor, and realizes that she is nothing but an archetype, a stereotype, a walking, talking trope. Indeed, every member of the team has an Asian doppelganger. It looks like Dolores has finally decided against continuing with Teddy, ending their relationship. The nightmare continues. Legion, David's stylish, surreal odyssey continues, and Sid is never far away. The show reminds us it has a sense of humor by depicting Farouk and Oliver traveling by rickshaw through the desert. Also, when David wanders off into the middle of a desert, again leaving her behind, a jet suddenly flies over, and Sid arrives by parachute to continue their discussion about their relationship, emphasized by a kick in the shin. This discussion is not easy for David because he is visiting her future self as well as the one in the present, and it gets confusing. Lenny escapes from Division 3 and it's still not clear if she has entirely shed the Shadow King. This show is wacky and sometimes confusing, but it is never dull and it remains one of TV's best and most engaging shows. I just realized this week that the tall, mustached hermaphrodites are robots. The identity of the man with his head in a basket remains a mystery. I am delighted by this show and think it's brilliant. Creepy sometimes and weird as hell, but brilliant. The Expanse, the series pivoted into a new story arc more or less smoothly this time around. All eyes are on the proto-artifact that emerged from the crash site on Venus. Christian makes a speech appealing to everyone's better nature for peace in the face of the unknown represented by the object in space. A very nosy and sexy reporter, played by Defiance's Anna Hopkins, and her camera guy is annoying everyone on the Rochi. Holden sees Miller on the Rochi and naturally can't believe his eyes. Related.